Gonna do a quick review on the Ollie watch just because I haven't seen a lot of long-term reviews. I've had this watch for a little bit over 3 months, um, and a lot of the reviews are just basically YouTubers that maybe you're just making commercials for the watch. Um, so right off the bat, this is not a standard F91-W. Um, it is a minimalist version, the black one. So it's essentially this one right here, with the dark screen from the negative screen from the 168 negative screen version. I harvested just the screen from this one because I wanted the black on black. And I was actually really hoping that there would be a way to take the indigo style glow from this one because the F91W's lights suck so bad. But that's not the case because you cannot take that element. You have to keep the same one. This is the actual screen from the F91W, but it has behind it the layer of the Indiglow, and you can see right there those two little pogo pin receptacles have to get power from the 168's board, and those do not exist on the F91W. Screens are compatible, but though they are different. The F91W, excuse the darkness, this lighting in here sucks. There is a difference in the spacing on stuff, and I think where the alarm notification is on thing is, that's about it. But the screens do swap out. And there is a cheaper way of doing it where you just remove the standard F91W screen and remove the UV filter or the polarizing filter, and then replace it at a different angle with some that you buy. But I didn't want to hassle with that, and I thought it would just be easier. And like I said before, I was hoping I could take the Indiglow style backlight from this and put it in there, but that wasn't the case. So anyways, back to the watch. So essentially the guts are the Ollie watch and this watch. I currently have it set to where it turns off after so-and-so. I like the look of it being completely black until it gets movement and then it turns on. I also have it so every time you push the button it kind of scrambles to the next screen. I kind of like that. I only have 5 things on here set up currently. I have standard time, step counter, alarm, temperature, world time, and then sunrise, sunset. Right now it's on sunset, which is at S. If you push this, it shows you sunrise. And then obviously the backlight still is completely ass. So, but it does change color, and so there's that. So I love the watch. I think most of it is just the F91 in general. I just love it. It just feels like you're wearing nothing. I love my G-Shocks, but I mean, chunky comparison wise, I forget I'm wearing the F91W, and the G-Shock, it's just a bit too big for everyday use. Let's check out the app. So I think a lot of people focus on the app, on all the different faces, like oh, you can have all these faces. You can turn off the faces you don't want and then sync it with the watch, and they just don't appear. So these are currently the only ones I have. You can also, besides just turning them off and on, you can also rearrange them to appear in what order you want by just holding this and dragging them, which is I really like. So in general, if you just open up the app, download the app just to see what it offers, this is technically what a lot of people see first off the bat, but I think this is, the faces are okay. I mean, you got stopwatch, timer, heart rate monitor. A lot of people think this somehow has a sensor in the back that tells you your heart rate. It's not really that. It just helps you count your own heart rate. A counter is basically like a clicker where you can just click the button to count like people are running by or something stupid. The flashlight, if you want to kill your battery, you'd have the flashlight where you can use the highest setting brightness on the flashlight to just stay on, and it'll just, I don't know, it's kind of pointless. Games, there's a really pointless ping game. I'll go ahead and turn that on. Not start, turn it on. And there's a blackjack game. And then set clock, I don't know what that is. Anyway, you can go ahead and send it to the watch, because I know somebody wanted to send the thing. You have to hold down the Bluetooth, I'm assuming. Not the fingerprints. It should be synced up. World time, sunrise, sunset, yeah, in the game, ping, and then the other game, blackjack. So the ping game is just you basically just pushing a ball, or really cheesy. Sorry, it's like probably not the best watch to show a demo on. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna go through those. I'll go through those in a little shorter video. The cool thing I like, which this is all great, but the best thing I think is actually the settings up here. So if you go to settings up here, it's the device settings. That's where the good stuff's at. So you can have it so it flashes your name. I gotta get back to the home screen. You hold it and it stays in Casio. It says your name. Obviously my name's Jason. Name, motion. So I have that set on. That's for step counting. Temperature. So a lot of people think the temperature shows you, like, it downloads the temperature of the day, like the weather temperature. It's the temperature of the watch. So if you're wearing the watch, it's going to be a mixture of what the watch's temperature is and your body temperature. So it doesn't really tell you your body temperature. It doesn't really tell you the ambient temperature of the room, because it's kind of a mixture of both. I'm kind of a warm person, so it's pretty hot compared to what the room temperature is. Gestures, that's the where you can tilt it to turn it on and off. You can turn off all the sounds, so it doesn't make any sounds when you're going in between screens or stuff like that. Step counter, chime. So when you hit your goal for the day, it will make a chime on the hour. So say you hit your goal at like 8:30, it will make the chime that you hit your step goals at 9 o'clock. And that chime is tied to what alarm you set. So mine currently is set for Mario, so it plays the 1-up sound whenever I hit my step goals. Accuracy, I have this turned off. Apparently it makes step counting accuracy better, but it also messes up the battery. Auto sleep, that's the one that turns the screen off. So you can actually turn off the screen so it's off until you push a button, or you can turn off the screen by using the motions up top to make it so it turns on when you move rather than waiting for a button. Auto sleep, you can set the time. So a lot of these have settings inside that you can mess with. Lights, so here's the light button, how long it stays on. Heart rate tilt, that probably has something to do with the heart rate thing. Animation, so the animation, that is the like glitch or like whatever. Every time you push the button, instead of it just switching to the new face, it does like a little scroll or whatever. Animations, hold for home. That's where you can hold it so it jumps back to the face button, or the front one. Backlight color, you can change the color of your backlight by using RGB codes. That's pretty cool. Although the light still sucks in F91-W, it's not any better. You can, I mean, it's slightly better because you can change the level up. I have it on level 5 just because it's worthless no matter what, and I would prefer not to burn up my battery thinking that it's going to look better at max. Backlight correction, I don't use, I guess I do use that. Yeah, you can have it so it turns on the light every time you tilt your hand up. That would just absolutely destroy your battery. So alarm timer backup, you can have the alarm go off or the light go off when your alarm chimes. Bluetooth always on. These all kill your battery. Bluetooth chime whenever Bluetooth's on. Events counter, yeah. So these are actually better settings that are more interesting than the watch faces, because I mean the watch faces are just, I don't know. The settings in here are better. And then up here on top you can barely see it, but there are buttons you can push that if you want extra good battery life, you push that button and it'll adjust all your settings up and down. Like it'll just go and put presets in there to make it last, I think, 3 years. And then performance, and then I guess that is just a mixture of just like a good, I don't know, some kind of presets. So the thing that kind of sucks about the Ollie watch, the things that kind of suck is the backlight still obviously sucks. That's part of just the design of this watch. One thing people have been complaining about is the first time I installed the Ollie watch into this watch, the battery died within a week and a half. And I don't know why, whether it was me installing the battery incorrectly or the watch the donor watch just having an older battery, or the settings in the Ollie app, but it died within a week and a half, and I tried it in another watch and it still didn't work. So the battery was definitely dead. I replaced the battery with a battery that I bought brand new at the store, and it's been going good for like 3 months. But I'm still keeping an eye on it. So that kind of was a hiccup. The other thing is, depending on what your settings are, the watch is not going to last the 10 years that a standard F91-W does. So expect to replace your battery probably way more than you would. I mean, the standard F91-W lasts for 10 years. This one's going to last for considerably less if you use any of these features. And you're basically removing these screws to replace the battery every single time. And these are basically just put into plastic. They're not being threaded into like metal receptacles that'll take a screw in and out multiple times. Each time you're putting it right back into the same plastic, and I'm assuming that those holes aren't going to hold up that much. They'll probably become loose and just not functional after like 2 or 3 or 4 battery charges. So I'm keeping in mind of that. The only other thing I can say is, yeah, a lot of the face features are not very useful to me, but overall I do just like the watch, and I like the few extra functions I get out of it. Activity and health, is that the thing? I guess you could connect it to an Apple Watch. I don't know. You could change the temperature units, your step goals. There's a lot of cool settings in here. So like where's the time? So there's a lot of good settings for the, I don't want to do that. For the alarm. Oh, here we go, alarm. So for the alarm, you have a lot of settings in here. You can tell it like what days you want it to go off, your snooze times, and then obviously this is one of the coolest things. I mean, this almost makes it completely worth it, is you can set it to any of these chimes. And just to show you right now, it's on the plumber chime. You just push this and the watch will actually play. We could try one of the other ones. I guess the most popular ones would probably be at the bottom. In Plumber, Indian, Galactic. So fat fingered that one. Let's go with Indy. And we'll try Galactic. And then obviously you can set a time frame when you want your alarm to be active. So like all this stuff is pretty damn cool. Just having an alarm that's so customizable. Timer faces. I'll go back to. Let's go. No, that's not it. Maybe home. Yeah, there we go. So this is the main screen it shows. So like I have been wanting to watch for a while. So if you click on the calendar, it shows you the date, and if you met your goal, the circle is completed, and then I think the blue is probably steps. I don't know what the other ones are. Some other kind of tracking. So if you can go back a month. So that was February. That was January. That was December. I wear the watch pretty much every day. As far as step count accuracy, I think it is pretty off, I guess. I took a drive from Texas all the way to California, and I somehow met my step goals while driving. I'm assuming that's just from me moving my hand back and forth, but some days, I mean, most of the times I hit my step goals. I do walk a lot during the day, but I think one morning I hit my step goals after like 2 hours or like an hour of being awake, and that was kind of odd. But overall, I really like the Ollie watch. It's pretty cool just to have the couple extra features that I really enjoy, like the alarms, the timers, and the ability to have a screen that turns off and a watch that's completely black. At least it's not going to do it. But yeah, it's pretty great. I like it. I got a bunch of extra Casios because I'm assuming that I'll just switch this module in and out of this watch case into something else maybe when this one goes out. But yeah, I think that's about it. Sorry for the quick, messy video. I don't have really a YouTube setup, but thanks. Bye.